here. There's the messages that you've sent privately, and there's the messages that have been on your Facebook. And we're going to start with Grenfell, first of all, because this was a comment that you put on your Facebook and what has been called a shocking rant, where you described the situation there as a nest of illegal immigrants. Understandably, lots of people very offended by those statements. Yes,
I understand that, and I think the language that I used was not good, not good at all. And I didn't mean to cause offence, but I think, you know, in a wider, broader context of the things that I said, I think these are things that we need to be discussing.
It was a shocking thing to say.
It was a shocking thing to say, but as I said...
Did you mean it?
No, I didn't mean to cause offence, but
But you meant what you said?
I meant what I said, that there is an issue
that it was a nest of illegal immigrants?
No, that I think there's an issue with illegal immigration in this country, and I think it's something that we should be discussing.
Why didn't you say, I feel there is an issue with illegal immigration?
Well, I should have done. As I said, the language that I used wasn't good, and I didn't mean to cause offence. Obviously, it was...
I mean, the language you choose in many other situations, even with Harvey Weinstein victims, you described them as whinging little divas. So your choice of language is interesting in many different situations.
Yeah, this was before I was ever in the public eye. I never thought...
It doesn't matter, does it? I mean, your choice of language, whether you were in the public eye or whether you were just a human being.
No, I have apologised for that, and I didn't mean to cause people offence, as I said.
Well, what about... If I can say as well, I mean, with the Grenfell Tower thing, I mean, the Home Office has offered a year's amnesty for illegal immigrants who were in that tower and survived. And there's a lot of evidence to show that there are bodies that are unidentified because they were illegal. So the issue... I mean, you know, so Joe has used an emotive language, but actually we shouldn't allow that to take us away from the problem.
You're qualifying this. You blamed other people earlier on for what is going on. You're now attempting to qualify, you know, what is essentially outrageous comments. We go further. This is a privately leaked WhatsApp conversation with a former Tory friend. The remarks about Prince Harry's fiancée, claiming that black actresses' entry into the royal family would pave the way for a black king. During this shocking tirade, you claimed that you would never have sex, and I find this word hard to say out loud, but I'm going to say it in the context of what it was. You would never have sex with a Negro. You described black people as ugly. You suggested that Meghan would taint the royal family because she is mixed race. I mean, you know, you just don't sound like a very nice person.
It doesn't sound very nice, no. There's a lot in there, what you said. Meghan Markle, I think my comments about her were disgusting. They were meant to shock, and they were private, and I never intended them to be put in the...
But at that point, you were in the public eye?
No, I wasn't.
No. At no point. At no point. So have you tempered what you said because you are in the public eye?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think, you know, the things that I said were meant to shock. They weren't, you know, they don't reflect my real views.
Why say them then?
Why say...
What's the point to cause hurt or spread hatred?
Well, I didn't mean to cause any hurt or to spread hatred. This was a...
You didn't mean to get caught?
No,
I think there's a bigger issue here as well, if I can say, with social media. For a big question for society, because there's a lot of stuff, and I've found recently, because of all of this, some of the stuff that's being spread around by people in their early 20s on private messages on Facebook and other social media means is absolutely appalling, and they're the sort of things that they would never say face-to-face or in public. And there seems to be a sort of a subculture of communication which would be unacceptable if it was out in a more open domain. And I think there's a big question about what social media is doing to society.
So it's okay to be a racist privately?
And I'm not excusing... No, I'm not excusing that at all. But I think you mentioned the word context. And indeed, there is a context to this. This is not something, you know, there are people on social media, and we all know it, who say things on social media, but they would never say it. They say things anonymously, or they say things in private on social media that they would never, ever dream of saying.
Like Joe?
Yeah, absolutely.
But who can realistically say that they've never said anything offensive in private?
I've never said anything like that in my life.
I might not have said anything like that, but who can say they've never said anything remotely offensive?
No, but not as offensive as that.
Well, that's all.
Are you private racists?
No, of course not.
No.
Absolutely, of course not. And I'm a sort of dyed-in-the-wool royalist, and you know I absolutely do not believe that these comments reflect Joe's core beliefs. What I'm saying here is that they are, yes, they're appalling language. Jo's apologised in public and to the party. She's resigned from the party. You know, I'm not sure what else she can do. There is, going forward, from the point of those, there's nothing else out there that's this emotive in any respect. And I do believe, I really have, I mean, you know, and you'll know that on social media, there are most appalling things said, far worse than this. And indeed, many people have, I mean, you mentioned Grenfell Tower. I mean, you know, there are far worse comments made by other people.
But it doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay. But what we have is we have a social context there that many of us who are slightly older absolutely find abhorrent.
Yeah.
But it is actually quite common, quite normal in social interaction in that domain.
You lost your job over this. What, is she worth losing your job over?
Yes. And I'd also say that whilst the opportunity was created, if you like, by both of us, both by my relationship with Jo and leaving my wife before Christmas, and also by Jo's comments. But the opportunity, so we've created that opportunity. But what I also find contextually relevant is the fact that this situation has been absolutely exploited by people within